sky. Well, you cry out and you don't know why. Come on now, let your feet fly. Come on now, let's go for a ride. Come on now, let your feet fly.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Red Couch.
I'm Izzy, Dakota Jones.
On Wednesday, and we got Kelly.
Kelly's here, extraordinary drummer.
On the couch.
And Kelly and I are sitting on the couch. You got the barber chair.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm the barber.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Of this place right here.
Come and get your haircut.
Yeah.
After this.
Yes. Oh, sure. Why not? We're open 24 hours now.
Sure. Jeff will do it.
Yeah, there you go. So Kelly, tell me what's been happening with you, and as far as like, I know that you got a lot of bands you play with right now. Like you were saying that when we were talking off camera before we started, the scene's sort of it's getting better. There's more people. It's better than what it was a year ago. You know what I'm trying to say?
It is definitely better than a year ago. There's some venues open now that there wasn't a year ago.
Yeah.
And hopefully there'll be more.
Yeah, I think so.
But as you know, venues come, venues go.
Yeah. I noticed. But I noticed when we were talking just before you came, Ash, we were talking also like how, like, and I think Kelly's. I've been feeling this way. So I think he's right on this. Really, I think what's happening is I like the venues that cater to the bands. So then live music becomes a happening thing again. You're not playing in a bar where or a venue where TV sets are going off, or a casino where you're hearing all night long, and they didn't come to see the band, technically, right? And I think that's a big change too, right?
It is, because there's nothing worse than showing up somewhere and it's like, where do we set up? There, that little tiny little milk crate over there in the corner.
Yeah.
Where's the PA?
Yeah.
We didn't bring one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty. We went last night and watched the guy that we interviewed just before you, Kevin from Tobacco Brown. Really good band, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
where was that at?
Just down here at the Brighton.
Oh yeah,
Brighton
right
Club.
on.
It's really tiny.
Yeah, I played there. Yeah.
And it caters to live entertainment, and it sort of works. It sort of works, but not bad,
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta want to be there to watch it, because it's crazy in there too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy venue.
Yeah. It was fun last night.
It was good last night. Yeah, they had playing bass in the band. They have Stephen Drake.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
Great. So how many piece band was it?
Well, last night it's 3. I guess some people couldn't, they didn't have a full lineup.
Yeah.
It was 4.
But they didn't have a drummer. Did they have a drummer?
Yeah.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, he's not bad.
Who was
He's
the harp player? Who was that?
That was me.
Who was
I was
on
playing
harp?
harp and doing some singing with him.
Yeah.
But Kevin's a wicked guitar player. Incredible guitar player. If you went and saw him, you'd go like, fuck, wow.
Yeah.
And he's like that kind of player. But the drummer was interesting. We were talking, because before they did their last set, we went and sat outside for a few minutes, stood outside, Ash and I, and Ash goes, wow, yeah, he's a really good guitar player. And then I said, what do you think about the drummer? So the drummer is really interesting because he doesn't, you know what I mean, he will play, and then he will like try to do like a whap, 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 like this, like off time. It's so close to being out of time.
Right.
It's like,
It's
just.
Yeah, he was always like behind or ahead.
Yeah.
Behind or ahead.
Well, he's pushing.
Like, are you doing that on purpose? And he's like,
creating tension.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he was
and
doing it.
It worked too, man.
He did it a lot, and sometimes he would almost like the band would teeter, right? It's ready to teeter off, right? But Kevin's good enough to grab it and pull it back. And Steve Drake, when he plays, he's like this. He's just like, you made a mistake. You know?
Yeah.
He just keeps playing. He's really smooth.
Well, he's got some serious history as a
Yeah.
musician in the Canadian, you know.
In the music scene, and
Exactly,
then
yeah.
who else? They had a keyboard player wasn't there last night, but Rick. I don't know if I don't remember Rick's last name, but he played with Colin James.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And he's from Edmonton.
Ah,
Okay, so he knew you. I mentioned you, and I mentioned what's his name at West Coast Guitars? Glenn.
oh,
Glenn's
Glenn
from
Smith,
Edmonton.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mentioned him too, and then he goes, "Yeah, I know those guys. Yeah,
Interesting, interesting, yeah.
He was there last night, but seen there a
Yeah.
couple times. He's got these little small keyboards,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he's just wicked. And he just sits there and he just grooves. You know, and it's really cool.
The
That's
drum kit
awesome.
was really small last
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you go in there.
Yeah, you can't bring in the Alex Van Halen kit into the Brighton.
Yeah, you gotta leave the gong at home.
Yeah, you gotta leave the gong at
Flaming
home.
gong at home.
You might have to be the only one playing.
Yeah.
There's Kelly one man.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the rest of the band? I'm doing the whole show today.
Yeah, I'll do just all the most famous drum intros for rock songs, you know, like guess this drum intro.
Yeah.
So what else are you playing a lot? And then
Lots like well, you know, we have the mainland studio still going, and, we're doing, you know, projects with that. I just did a thing with a guy from Calgary named Greg Julis. So he just released that, or he's in the process of releasing it.
Yeah.
And then another interesting project with Diana Harrison, which
Oh yeah.
she's going to be releasing a book about a story about you know, a fallen rock star,
Right.
and every chapter of the book has a song that relates to that chapter.
Oh, interesting.
Which is a really cool concept. So the book will be released alongside the CD or album. Well, I mean, people don't release CDs anymore, really.
Yeah, not right.
Yeah, it's like someone gave me a CD the other day at a gig, and here, take this and take it home, listen to it, and I bring it home, and my wife looks at me and goes, "What are you gonna play that on?"
Yeah. I know, I've got one in my car. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even have one in my car, and I Bluetooth
Yeah.
everything
It's so
now.
wild, right?
Yeah. It's just such a different. So you know, there's that going, and then there's a couple other, you know, irons in the
Fire.
coals and the fire.
And then you do the jams too. You've been
I do
hosting
the jams.
Yeah.
Doing the jams. I do. So this is kind of like you know, watching how the live music scene, at least in this part of the country, is you know,
Going.
changing and ebbing and flowing, and right now, like the two things that seem to be really big are jam sessions and tribute bands.
Wow. Yeah, tribute
There's a
band.
lot of tribute bands. You know, how
Yeah,
many
there's-
Fleetwood Mac tribute bands are there, like locally?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
this one, there's that one, there's that one. How many AC/DC?
But you know what is really weird about that? You bring that up. And you know what? It's interesting about that. I mean, like you and I talked about that before. We hate tributes.
Yeah,
no
I'm not a
offense
big-
to you guys. Like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
a big fan of it.
Yeah,
And I just like, there was a couple bands up in the North Burnaby in there, or Admiral, and I looked at the pictures. This is the Zeppelin tribute band. This is the Rolling Stones tribute band, and they don't look nothing like anybody in the band to
No,
start with.
no,
They
no.
look like you and me. And I'm
Yeah.
going like, why is that called a tribute?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you go to P&E this year, and I saw. I don't know. No offense to this guy, but I like Neil Diamond. I'm okay with Neil Diamond, his songwriting and everything. I'm not a Neil Diamond fan.
yeah.
But at least he comes out and he looks like Neil, and he tries to sound like Neil. Then I go, okay. I mean, I could put up with that for a little bit. You know, I could
Me and
tolerate.
Ronnie went and saw the Eagles cover.
How was that?
Tribute or cover.
Did they
Guys
look
sounded
anything?
Like
Are they
Glenn
sound-
Fry.
Oh,
They
yeah.
all had long hair.
Yeah.
They were trying.
Eagle Eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were great.
Yeah, great band. Yeah,
Right.
they work lots. Like they are out touring, doing lots of shows every year.
Okay.
They were great. That guy's
Yeah.
voice was
I thought.
on
I
edge.
thought. Didn't Mark Lafron have a band though that was doing Ego tribute too?
I think he might have at one time, but he's
So busy with Bachman
he's
now.
busy with Bachman, and Ronnie Bachman's like 81. So I mean, it's, you know, he's how much more time do they have? He's gonna pack it in at some point in time pretty soon.
81 for sure, yeah.
So
I'm amazed that he's gone that long.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's old.
but they're still out there doing tours out in the States and across Canada, and so they're just milking that for as much as they can.
Yeah.
Before
that changes.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at look at, say, even we're talking about Prism, and then there's Nick Gilder.
Yeah, I saw Nick.
And and then there's Loverboy. I mean, these
Nick Gilder band was really good.
Yeah, they're a great band. I mean, these are all great bands.
Who was the bass player again?
It's Mark Kenny.
That's Mark Kenny. That's right. Because Barbie said, check it out. Mark Kenny's in the band.
Yeah,
and the whole band was
great,
really
killer
good.
band, like all great musicians.
And I give Nick credit.
Yeah.
He does a good job. And you know what? He's written a lot of really.
He has for other people too
hits.
as well.
Yeah, like he wrote a hit for Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
He wrote it for that band.
I Am the Warrior.
Yeah.
I'm the Warrior.
Yeah, he wrote that one.
Yeah. Scandal.
Yeah, Scandal.
That's right.
Yeah. So So he wrote like I counted. He played them all, and I counted about 6 hits.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's no. It sounds like that's half an album of material that just didn't.
Bangers,
sure.
Number ones though.
Yeah,
number one. That's like.
That's
absolutely.
Michael Jackson stuff there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you can certainly.
I respect that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he tried, and he was good. I mean, he sang really good. You could tell, he's not in the best shape that he's ever been in, but he did a good job, And once he started talking about his songs and how he would kind of talk about how they got written and stuff. And I found that as a musician myself, I found that was entertaining.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you got to look at where these people are in their careers, and it is in the sunset stage.
Yeah,
for a lot of them.
Yes.
For a lot of.
I saw that when I
think for rock and roll.
Yeah.
We went and saw the Stones, right?
Yeah.
And this last time, and you know what? They were just as good as they were 20 years ago. Mick Jagger blew. I actually think Mick Jagger's better now than he was when I saw him in '72.
Yeah.
My first time. I think he's in better shape. He's
definitely more seasoned.
You can't get any more.
Yeah.
And the guy's playing. And no disrespect to. I mean, I think Charlie was really good at being solid, like Ringo. That kind of solid rock, playing to the song, right? And I think that. But I think that. As I was saying, I was thinking that was true, but the guy they got now playing with him
would be Steve Ferrone.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
And
Steve Jordan.
Or Steve Jordan, sorry.
Steve Jordan, Steve Jordan, right?
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Yeah, and it brings a new
vibe,
energy to the thing, right?
Yeah. Well, what my manager in Los Angeles said, Jay, he went, saw him in LA, and he says, "What'd you think?" I think he kind of makes the band a little more punchier. And I says, "That's a good comment." I felt it grooved more, right?
Yeah.
He just locked it down, grooved it really well, right?
And
put his own thing on it.
As sad as this is, man, they play those guitars. So many guys aren't even playing their guitars.
Yeah, well, there was how many people had ghost singers under the stage.
Yeah,
we know guitar player behind the curtain.
Yeah,
we know who did that in
tapes.
Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy we're just talking about.
Yeah.
With Randy Bachman. We're gonna get him coming back. He's a good, fun interview too.
Yeah.
I like Mark. Mark.
Yeah, he's got a lot of great stories.
And Mark is super nice guy.
Yeah, super.
He's so nice, easy to talk to. And he'll tell you things. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
And he's sang on a lot of big albums.
Oh man, huge at Little Mountain.
all those super high parts on Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah.
That wasn't Vince.
No, of course not. No, sorry, Vince.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was all Mark LaFrance.
Yeah, Mark did. I think he did a couple Aussie tours too.
Damn.
Where he sang, he did behind the stage. Yeah, with some notes, some stuff Ozzy couldn't hit, right? And when he was crazy days, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what they used to do.
I saw Ozzy forget the words to Paranoid one night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he had the thing the words are there, but he's been playing it since 1972.
Well, last time we saw him, it was 2015 or something like that.
Yeah,
Black Sabbath was here.
That was a great show.
Great show.
Wow.
And he was singing great, and then all of a sudden they played their newest song, and something just happened with his voice, and then he apologized after. He's, I'm singing like an asshole. I'm sorry, excuse me. And
Well, that's when he found out he had what's he got? He's got.
Is it a form of MS?
Yes, yeah. You could see it on stage that night. He sang good. The band was great, but he was struggling at times.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the singing was struggling.
Yeah.
He was struggling with his
moving
his
around.
health. His health. It was just not there.
But they cut their show like 3 or so songs short.
This one?
That one we're talking
I didn't know
about.
that.
Yeah, apparently so.
Because he was.
They didn't finish the whole set. They just kind of went, okay, these last couple of songs we were just gonna.
Yeah, because he's not feeling good.
Yeah.
They could tell, probably.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But he's funny, old man. He's like.
He's awesome, man.
He's
Yeah,
funny.
he's
'Cause
Aussie, man.
when he walked out, he was hobbling out onto the stage, and we were right behind the curtain a bit, so where we were standing, and he sees us and he goes like this, and everybody goes nuts.
Oh yeah, he's
I just started laughing.
He loves to perform.
He's waving at the people, and people are waving at
But that was the thing that was the strangest thing for me about that show is that's the first time I've gone to something like that event with a band like that, and it was the warm-up act was a DJ.
I know.
Oh.
Yes, it was.
That's right. I remember that.
That famous DJ. What's his name?
Oh, I
I
know who
forget.
you're talking about,
But how strange.
It is strange. But Black Sabbath can be strange, right? They're kind of different. But I loved it. I thought Tony Iommi was on.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he's
He's
great.
an incredible
Yeah.
guitar player,
Yeah.
like just a monster.
Yeah.
Well,
He-
he invented that whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought, I've seen my comment after this. I've seen Clapton, in the Cream, and quite a few other times. I've seen Jeff Beck. I've seen, Jimmy Page 1,000 times, and all those big guitar players.
Yeah.
And he's right up there with them. After I saw that, I just went like,
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
just went like, wow. I just went like,
absolutely.
I went, wow.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Yeah, no doubt.
And who was playing drums in that show? What's that guy's name?
Is it Apathy?
I can't remember, but he was awesome too. And so was Easler was really good bass player.
I always thought Bill
Yeah.
Ward was kind of like all those guys are great, but when Bill Ward wasn't in Sabbath anymore, it was different. It
Yeah.
didn't have that.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
they kind of, well, he's like,
Yeah.
you would know, he's
Super
not like,
edgy.
he's like Jeff Beck. He's like Ginger Baker, and Ginger Baker and a couple of those guys, and Charlie Watts, they were jazz drummers, right?
They were.
Yeah.
Bill Ward was
A jazz drummer.
hugely influenced by jazz.
Yeah.
Really?
And you can hear it on some of that stuff that
That's right.
Right.
That's pretty much jazz but heavied up, right?
Yeah. So all those,
That's cool.
So all those guys are like that, right? Yeah.
I don't know why it is that drummers is escaping me. That
I know,
that-
too. Escape me too. He's young. He's younger.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
them, of course, right? But you know what? I was going to ask you. So you're, I think you're a great drummer, and I'm not
Thanks.
just saying that. I want to ask you, like, what's your influence? It's a standard stock
what I'm
question.
curious about, too.
Well, when I was growing up, it was actually heavy rock, Black Sabbath, The
Bonham.
Who, Bonham, Keith Moon, Neil Peart, like big time, and those guys, and that was great. But then, as I got a little older, I started to appreciate, Steve Gadd and
Oh yeah.
and a bunch of players like that. But like nowadays, there's so many just unbelievable drummers. Like drumming has evolved. Because if you really think about it, the drum set itself is barely over 100 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
You
I
know,
never thought about that.
like where someone went, oh, let's let's have a pedal with a spring to hit the bass drum instead of someone hitting it with a mallet. And the hi-hat used to be called a low boy.
I didn't know that.
And a low boy was like this high, and you played with your foot, you know. And then somebody went,
Oh, but no sticks on it.
yeah, no stick. And then somebody went, oh, let's raise it up higher, and you can play it. I can do this. Oh, cool.
Oh wow.
So
that's awesome.
So
man.
let's put these together, and then like a drum set used to be called a trap set.
Yes.
You know, contraption set.
Yeah.
So a trap set, and it didn't have toms here. It had,
Okay.
you know, like a couple of wood blocks and you know, some bells and you know whatever
A
else.
literal contraption.
Yeah, there was literally where trap set came, contraption set.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So then somebody went, oh well, we can put some drums here, you know, and then we could put another drum here, and then it evolved, and then of course, you know, the jazz greats.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Gene Krupa.
exactly, you
Yeah.
know, and all these guys, and so they really developed the art of drumming, and you know, Buddy Rich,
Yeah,
amazing,
perfect,
still one of the greatest, you know,
Yeah,
but it's from then it's evolved, even from like Bill Ward and John Bonham and all these guys, you know, like guys like Terry Bozzio
Yes.
and all these people like just took it to an extreme level.
Yes.
And now you got like, if you really go down a rabbit's hole to find some of these new, you know, really like super high caliber drummers, it's just like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then another thing that drives me nuts, you could go on, and you can't let it get you down. You can't let it get you down because it can really get you depressed. And you could dial up some 14-year-old Asian girl on YouTube that's like playing Hot for Teacher, just like way better than you would ever tried, you know, just like, or just like playing amazing. So
that little girl who was on that thing on the internet with Dave Grohl, and she was just smoking
I know.
hot.
Yeah.
And then he ends up bringing her on and play with the Foo Fighters and all that.
Exactly, you
That
know.
was, she's
And
a little wee girl.
That's right, and
Wow.
I think
Monster.
I think a lot of that is due to the fact that back then, if you wanted to learn, you had to go to an instructor, or
That's right.
you had to get books or whatever, and
Yeah.
you would have to read the book. But now with the internet and YouTube and everything, you can find just endless amounts
Yeah.
of information.
That's like me being a singer. I was talking to somebody the other day. I said, you know how hard it was to be a singer in Top 40 Acts back in the day? I said, I had to listen to the lyrics.
Yeah, you have to like
I
rewind.
had
You have to
rewind it.
and
Then
then
go too
put-
far.
Yeah, and then rewind it again.
I had to get all the words, listen to the song.
one sentence at a time, you know.
And it's just like, I used to go like, fuck, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And now they just copy the words and then listen to the song and sing with
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
5 minutes and you're ready to
Oh
go.
yeah, man.
It's like, wow.
Spotify, you can just read along, man. It's like karaoke.
Oh yeah,
It's the best.
There you go, Tim.
yeah, exactly. But you know, like as I was saying earlier about like, you know, what's okay, you know, tribute bands are big now, and the jam sessions.
Yes.
Right?
That's what you're doing.
How many jam sessions are there in town? Like in Greater Vancouver?
Lots.
How many jam sessions are there
Yeah.
in a week?
Yeah.
There's got to be like.
You do yours at the Legion?
I do one at the 100 Club on Monday nights. I do one.
Kingsway.
Oh, on Kingsway.
Yeah, Kingsway, and then I do one out in Steveston on Wednesdays,
Yeah.
and then I do one Thursdays.
Down here at the
Commercial Drive
commercial
Legion.
kind of
Yeah, and there's like even just the one I do on Wednesdays. Well, there's one at the Beer Shack. There's one at the what's that other place in Steveston? Just the Buccaneer.
The Buccaneer,
You know,
yeah.
There's another one
Yeah.
at Begbie's or something, and there's another one over there. You know, and they're all well attended. There's
There's tons of musicians.
and these and the people that come out of these jams, like they go to that one on Monday, they go to that one on Wednesday, they go to that one on Thursday, they go to that one on Saturday. You know?
And that must be, they're just into it. They just love music. And
they just love music.
Nobody's looking for their big break.
No, what is it?
No,
it's really what it is it's a social gathering of musicians where people will get together, they get to jam, they get to network, they get to socialize, they get to hang out with their buddies. Yeah. And it's super popular. Like
I've met a lot of people that have been in my bands over the years. Remember when you did the press box? I met, tons of people. Mark and
were you the press box?
Yeah, I did the press box. Yeah, that's right. But here, like here's
lots of fun.
Here's
great.
It was good. It was fun. There was a lot of people showing up. But here's an example of, say, we're doing the Commercial Drive Legion. There's a guy from, I don't know, he's from Ireland or something. He's walking down the street. He's a drummer from Ireland. He's walking down the street. That sounds like a live band. Yeah. Comes in. Yeah. Hangs out for a bit. Oh, it's a jam. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Can I sign up? I'm a drummer. Signs up. Gets up. It's really good. Starts coming every week. What's a better way to
meet
get
people,
in, meet people and get into the scene, and then someone else would be there and go, oh, you're pretty good. We need a drummer, we need a fill-in guy this Friday. Are you available? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Bang, and off you go.
Yeah, it's good. You're right about that. It's good networking.
Tap into the scene.
Yeah, and it's good networking, right? It's just
great networking.
You meet all kinds of musicians, and then
absolutely.
like I said, when I had my bands, found a few players, right?
Yeah.
I used to say to Hardgoods, go down tonight where Kelly's doing the jam. And he goes, why? I says, we need a new guitar player. Let's go scope out the place and see what's there. Yeah. You get to watch people play, and then you walk up to him, and Kelly would say, hey, this is Joe. He's got a band, blah blah blah. And then next thing you know, the guy's playing in my band.
That's right.
And, it works.
Or bands will come out and go, well, we get a 3-song set of 15 minutes. We're going to set up a couple cameras because we need some live footage.
Yes.
Bada bang. The PA's all there.
It's all there. It's all ready to go. Yeah, very good. Good idea.
Smart. So that works out really well.
Yeah.
Because the next thing I was going to move on is weekend cover gigs. Because then, as we were talking before, that has changed a lot, because it used to be 6 nights a week in a bar. You would play and they were all over the place, right? Yeah. And they used to have this 3-for-1 highballs on Wednesday nights and stuff like that, and it would just bring people in droves. And it was but is that even legal anymore? Do they even do that?
You know what they did when I was a kid? Quickly here. We played up at when we were talking about the Admiral. Yeah. And the Admiral in the old days, like a long time ago, they had $2 highball night. $2. I take $20. Walk up there. I'd come out of there I'd roll down the hill, to my house.
It was
I was walking. My walk was like this. I was
I knew it. For $20.
Right.
Yeah, $20 went a long way back
then. Exactly, man, it did. And there was a lot of that going on, and it was 5-6 nights a week. And now, there's not even a 2-nighter. It's all one-nighter. It's one-nighter.
Yeah, because they can't pay anymore. They don't
it's really been,
They got cheap before that, though.
They did get cheap before that.
That's when they were gouging us, gouging the musicians. Yeah. Right? They started cutting the money down. Yeah. No, we're not as busy anymore, so you guys are not drawing anymore. Yeah, BS. You're drawing as much as you did before. You guys don't want to pay it no more.
Yeah. And it's not like drink prices didn't go down; they went
up. Yeah. Well, Joe and I have talked about this too. The kids don't really drink.
Not like before. It's just a different. Yeah, man. No.
Yeah, they don't do no more. Yeah.
Not like
us. Yeah. No, nothing like that.
Yeah, there's.
Which is, it's
great.
There's a health craze because of that.
Sure, it is. Yeah.
And what's happening is those kids are doing they're smoking pot more and hash, and and then they're they're eating the gummies and stuff. When I
Yeah.
talk to them, that's what they do.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So they don't.
and they drink, and they either drink beer, nothing heavy, no hard
Yeah.
alcohol,
Yeah.
and they drink mock cocktails.
That's
Mock
right.
cocktails are huge.
Sure, but it's a perfect storm of things that happened that really kiboshed the live scene a lot too, and that's that the crackdown on drinking driving, which I agree with
Yeah.
heavily,
Yeah.
is way more strict than it used to be, which is great. But another thing that happened too, along with the rising drink prices and stuff, is the internet happened where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, we could just dial up whatever, you know, AC/DC live in Rio,
Watch the
or
real
watch
band.
that, you know.
Watch it on your TV set. For
Exactly.
You
Sure.
know what I
know
mean?
too.
I remember the days in Feldman days, right? That I went say go over the island, and I was actually talking to my cousin Brian Rask the other day. I was talking to Brian about when we played in this one band, and we went up and played in Port Hardy, and the Seagate Hotel. And then the Seagate Hotel had a great band house right on the water. Like it's one of those old tier 3, homes like you see in
Yeah,
Kids
yeah,
Island. Huge. And they had a satellite TV, which back then was
Yeah, yeah.
pretty spiffy. Hey, we went in there first day, one of the first times we were there, turned on TV on Monday, MTV. And
Yeah,
for
right.
the first time, right?
Yeah,
So then we got to see what songs we were going to learn. From
Yeah.
what artists.
yeah.
Well, looks like we're doing a Billy Idol.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're doing that, and we're looking, and I first thing I said to Brian, I says, we're screwed now. And he goes, why? Because they're going to start showing concerts and everything
Yeah.
on this TV, and the bands are going to make less money, and we're going to eventually get our ass
Yeah,
kicked. And
it's
it
a funny
didn't
thing.
happen then.
Yeah.
It took about 10
Not
years.
quite
Sure.
like that.
Yeah,
But-
10, 15 years.
Yeah.
I saw it coming
And it's a
though.
funny
Yeah.
thing though too, man. Like who can do what the Stone only like Taylor Swift, the Stones, U2 can play stadiums. Like I think there's a line, and if you can play stadiums before that, you can play stadiums now.
That's right. Yeah,
Because
you're
it
kind
didn't-
of grandfathered into it.
Right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
the
yeah,
kids,
yeah.
the kids
Yeah.
are into. They have everything. They've got their telephone, and they've got infinite milk crates full of records,
Yeah.
right? Which is cool.
Yeah.
You're not getting any money off it though.
Well, it's been a,
Yeah.
sure, but it's been a battle even right from the get go of just entertainment music and entertainment in general. It's been all about having to adapt.
Yeah.
Because if you
sure.
go back to like when it was Beethoven. Okay, if you wanted to hear live music, you had to go
And see it.
see it. Okay, so
That's
went
like-
on.
yeah.
That went on. Then all of a sudden, we discovered on a wax cylinder that we can, transfer this sound wave to this wax cylinder. So now you can, you don't have to go out. You can listen to music.
That's why when you and I were talking, what I do with my two bands, right? We stream everything.
Yeah.
Live
which
shows.
is-
We go down.
That's
to,
right.
Go
Yeah.
down to the rehearsal place, as you guys know. We stream shows, and you know what? Now we're up to 5,000, 6,000.
Yeah.
I'll sit in my living room and watch you guys.
Exactly.
I
But
love
yeah,
it.
and I can
I
have
love
a
that.
beer. I can drink my face off.
Oh yeah.
I can watch the Twitch. I can,
Dude, I can
Yeah.
pause it and go to the John.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's super
Yeah.
So,
convenient.
so what you find out though, when we're going to say quickly here, what happens when we do now? We get say to 1,000.
Yeah.
After the show, it builds up, and we're at 1,000. Like
Yeah,
our record label says to me, you know what? You just packed the Commodore.
Exactly. That's exactly it. You just pack the Commodore.
That's
exactly.
what happened when you guys played in the barber shop. They had 2,500 people.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
right. How
barber
did you
shop.
fit 2,500 people in the
Right?
barber shop?
It's a good
Yeah.
trick.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, it's all about adapting. So after the records, right? Then after records, it was 8 tracks, cassette tapes, and then all of a sudden CDs bumped records out, right?
Yeah.
And then now CDs are bumped out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
and
it
it
just
goes even with live performance. It went that way with vaudeville. Okay, there's vaudeville. You have to go if you want to see a live show, go out to vaudeville. All of a sudden, no. So now we invented radio. Okay, so now we can just sit in our living room and
That's-
listen to it, and then all of a sudden,
You're right,
TV
totally.
comes in. okay, radio got kind of put to the side. We can actually watch it now. And now, like, we're right up to
the streaming.
like what you're
right
talking
here.
about.
We're staying in your living room, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the next thing? Is it going to be AI? And
It's going to be.
I want John Bonham on the drums.
We're going to put electrodes up to your head.
Yeah, dude. Black Mirror.
Take you right there.
Yeah, take you right there.
Take you right to the show.
Oh yeah, I'm John Bonham.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's right. Kelly's playing with
I
Rush
called
tomorrow
David
night.
Rock
Yeah, that's
1982.
I better get my parts right here. That's kind of some shoes to fill there, man. Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's glad to talk. I like always talking with you, Kelly.
Oh, yeah,
Kelly's great.
Yeah.
Catch
we've
one of
got
those
some
bands.
fun
Cool
history.
outlook on the future too, man. Not like fuck this.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
all right,
man.
here it comes. It's coming.
Yeah, no, adapt. If you wanna stay in the
I love
business,
that,
man,
man.
you gotta.
You gotta-
You know that.
Yeah, you gotta reach
You've
the people.
adapted.
Yeah,
You know, you're.
that's what probably when people. I'm not bragging, but a lot of people say you guys are like one of the only bands that are doing this in this
When
area.
Joe
Yeah,
told me
it's
about
less
that,
and less.
it blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
says, well, yeah, I'm gonna take it. I says, you go. It's like you said, we go. The Roxy loves us because they love the two bands we have. But the thing is, they told me, they says, we go and open up on, it's like playing there when you're the opening act before the cover act.
Sure.
There's
It's hard
not a
to
lot
get
of people in
It's hard to
there, right?
get
And people
in
go,
there,
oh, what do we, like my drummer said to me one day, he goes, there's nobody here, right? And I says, no, they're in there.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
says, and we always play the Roxy. We get, right off the bat, we get 1,000 in an hour. I don't know why.
That's
We
awesome,
don't
man.
know
That's
why.
great.
Maybe
That
because
is
it
great.
looks good. And then,
Oh.
and then half an hour, 2 hours later, we're over 2,000, right? So
That's
it's
incredible.
and it keeps going. And the bar guy said to me that he said, we know you got a huge following online.
Yeah.
We love having you guys here because you advertise the place for us.
There was a couple hundred people sitting on the couch with you guys.
Yeah.
Which is-
Yeah.
And then
Thank
they
you,
know where
great.
you're playing, so the bar gets the advertising for free, right? They don't have to pay for it.
No, that's.
And so at the end of the day, like I says, no, there might be 50 people in the bar. I says, I get it. If I wasn't streaming the show, I'd probably be depressed. I says, because you only got 50 people here. But I says, I know I got more than 50 people here. I guarantee I get 1,000 within the next hour, right?
But how many bands that are playing the Roxy are doing what you're doing?
Nobody.
Nobody is. Nobody's doing that streaming.
Yeah.
No, we are, because we were laughing the other night when we had 1,000 last time we played the Roxy, and playing at the Commodore was George Thorogood. 900 fills the Commodore. 900.
Yeah.
We got 1,000.
Yeah,
So George
100
had,
more people.
George had to travel
Yeah.
twice as far.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Yeah,
what my
yeah.
buddy Kenny said. He goes, "Do you realize you
Yeah.
guys didn't have to go very far to get
Yeah,
that many
man.
people?"
But that's a tough deal. Like I remember playing at the Roxy, it was maybe a year ago or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, and the warm up thing for the night band, and there was another band they came from Newfoundland or something, and
Oh my God.
they went all the way across Canada driving. They stopped. They played Winnipeg. They played
Yeah.
Calgary, whatever, and then they were really excited about we're playing in Vancouver. And they're up there playing, and there's like 15 people in there. And
Yeah.
it's just like that's
must be
a real
That
hard.
must hurt.
That's a harsh
Yeah,
You're right,
yeah,
Kel, that must
that's a hard deal.
And the
man.
same night we played the same night we played there, the Vogue had this band. I forget the name of the band, and they were from Alabama or something, right? And my guitar player Paul knew who they were. They were a band in the '90s and that were fairly big.
Right.
And they were out in the alley when we were loading out, and we were talking to them because I walked up the door. I go, oh, there's a party in the alley, right?
Yeah.
And you could tell they're musicians too. And I'm talking to them, and they had the thick Southern accent, and we're talking. And one guy says, "So how long you guys been on tour for?" "Oh, we've been on tour for 5 months." "Oh, wow, where have you been?" "We've been every shithole in this whole North America." And I just went, wow. And he says, "Yeah, I think this is like the 300th show." And I just went like, and they were really tired, like they were burnt, right?
Of course.
And I just went, and then that kicked in again in my head. I went, we
Yeah.
just played here, and we got 900 people, and they have to travel all the way from
Yeah.
Scoop wherever.
And you're going home to your bed
Yeah.
to your own bed.
And they got to go back in the touring bus.
The bus, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's driving tonight?
It's like we had a DJ Gibiski, who we love. It's like our house DJ for our art shows and stuff like this. Young girl, she's wicked, Georgia. She's wicked, and so we're streaming her DJ set. I don't know anything about it. It's getting all these views, and then Australia blows up. It's like,
Wow.
oh, you're going crazy
That's
in
cool.
Australia.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
Right there, like right beside the arcade
Wow.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, insane,
Yeah.
man.
That really
stuff is the stuff.
That's awesome.
That's the stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely it is. It is. I'm surprised more people aren't doing that, you know?
I know, it's like.
I never heard of it until Joe. I see Joe around for years and years, and finally I was like, dude, who are you, man?
Yeah.
Right? And then of course we become chums or whatever. And I was like, oh, where do you play? Oh, we play the Princeton, or we play the blah or blah blah blah. It's like, oh yeah, you get a lot of people in there to see you. I don't care.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And explain this little scheme of his, and I was like, oh Jesus Christ, that's brilliant, man.
It is.
I just said that's
Yeah.
enough. Well, we got that. We got it all from when we went down. My manager Jay ran a thing in LA where he would do music seminars, right?
Yeah.
So he knew everybody. Like, I mean, he signed Metallica, he signed Madonna. I mean, with other people,
Yes.
big label guys. And he's friends with people even up there. He's friends with Randy, Burton Cummings. He knows everybody. He used to work for Norm Perry Productions out of Seattle.
Periscope? Or?
No, yeah. I think it was, but it was. He worked out of Seattle, and so he would bring acts up here to Vancouver. So
Right.
that's how he got to know Vancouver.
Yeah.
He also went to the University of Washington State University. So when he was there, he became a DJ. You know, so he's been in the music industry a long time, Jay. And so when he opened up this music seminar, I mean, the first time we went, it was like he blew the doors off it. I think he lost a lot of money, but like we went there and there was everybody there. I mean, we had a gig opening up for Heart
Cool.
at Hard Rock in Los Angeles. Like, you know, really cool things going on.
Yeah.
And you know, venues, I mean, I met Michael Jackson's manager,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
all these high industry
Yeah,
people, right?
yeah.
Kiss's guitar player replaced,
Bruce Killick?
yes,
Yeah.
I met Bruce.
He's a
Oh,
good
yeah,
guitar
wow.
player, man.
Yeah, yes, he's a jerk.
Yeah.
He was really rude. But,
Sounds like he's a jerk, folks.
Yeah.
Kiss
So
are jerks.
He was asking me, he goes, why are you down here if you're trying to break into our industry when you should be talking to Gene, because Gene
Yeah.
comes up to Canada all the time. So I'm like, Canada's a big place, buddy. You know, like,
You know, you should do one episode, Jerks in the Music Industry.
yeah.
We'll have you back.
Oh, yeah.
Don't say that about my friend.
I'm just kidding.
I know, I'm joking. I'm joking.
He opens the door. I'm gonna walk through.
Yeah, oh yeah, man. He's right there on a silver platter, for God's sakes.
But anyways, we were down there, and when you go to these conferences, they bring in people in the industry to tell you what you should be doing.
Yeah.
And you know, and then they come also to see you play somewhere. Like, you know, we played not the Rocks, we played the Whiskey a Go Go, and they would come down and see us there. The Hard Rock in Los Angeles, of course, was really interesting. But like, you would do all that, and then they would come in and talk to you. One lady who did all the internet stuff, she came and sat down and talked to us for like about an hour. Says, "What's your social?" This is about 6 years ago, because you know they're always ahead of us a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And what's your social media stats?
Yeah, asking how many followers do you have?
Yeah.
How many?
And they said you
Yeah.
need to work on that and build that up and prove
Yeah.
to people that you're a viable product.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
what
right.
you're doing is
Yeah.
you're trying to get your music out to as many people
Yeah,
as you
man.
want. And so that sat in our heads for
Yeah.
a year. We didn't touch it for a year. And then Jay said to me, "What's wrong with you guys?
Yeah.
Like, get your ass out of your hole and
Yeah,
you know."
man.
Here it
Get-
is,
yeah, here it is.
It's so different from what it used to be. It's not, 'cause now they want to see that, like any management or label. Well, how many followers do you have? How many YouTube hits do you have on your on your video? And back in the day, it was like, okay, well, the record company's giving you a 3-album deal, and the first one bombed. Okay, well, you know, you get a second chance, bomb like Rush. You know, it bombed.
Right.
You know, and then it's kind of like 2112. Okay, this is your last chance, right? So they just said, you know what? If we're gonna go out, we're gonna go out with guns blazing. We're gonna do it exactly how we want to do it. You know, screw you, A&R guy. You know, like sorry, but we're gonna write a concept album with you know with. Song one on side one is going to be 12 minutes long, you know, and it took off, and they had a career. But nowadays, if that they never would have had a chance to even make
you have to prove that before.
Yeah, you got to prove that before. Nowadays, they never would have given you your first album bombed.
Yeah, you're done.
You're gone.
I bet if you don't have a whatever, I don't know the numbers. 1 million TikTok followers, you don't even have the deal.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Oh yeah. They would look at that and go,
if you got 1 million, they probably what they will do.
You know what I mean? I don't know the number, but
you know the exact
rather
what
than
the line is.
Rather than to make the product, see if the product's worth it.
See what, like I said, when you talk about 900 people, like what my label says to me now, you got 900 people at the Commodore. Okay, now when you get up to 2,000, okay, you can play the Vogue. You know, like they look at how much you can actually seat.
Yeah,
you know, if you get 20,000 at the Coliseum here, they're gonna you get around 40,000.
So Saints and Sinners, we put the Vogue in the barbershop that night.
Yeah,
that's right. but the thing is, the big difference is you're doing it on your own. You're not getting some record label to sink a bunch of money in.
All the A&R guys.
A&R guys.
That's why they'll sign. And that's why they'll sign you. Eventually, if you get to around 40, 50, or 40,000, they start going,
they go, maybe we should, you know, bring these guys in.
I'd be curious, like what number it has to be.
Where's the threshold?
Where it turns into can sell at the Vogue.
What do you mean? Like you could actually do it? Yeah. What they
know what I mean?
I know what you mean. So what they do is they'll say, okay.
If you guys are playing the Vogue, I'd buy the ticket. I'd go see you guys.
Yeah.
At the Vogue,
okay.
I know.
So what they will look at, they'll go like, okay, you got 9,000 at the Commodore. We won't put you in the Commodore till you get around 40. They want to double it.
Right.
So it's kind of like what do you call it? A cushion. It's a cushion. That's what they call it. Then they start taking you seriously. Okay, 20 at 9,000, you're kind of like, okay, you can fill the Commodore. But realistically, could you do that? Probably not. But when you get like 20,000, they go, okay, let's take a chance at 9,000.
Half the viewership.
Yeah. They'll gamble on you. That's what I was told by the director. We'll gamble on you when we think you are capable of filling that position, or you get a good opening spot for somebody, right? You know, somebody fairly big, right? You know.
Sure.
I mean,
Kelly, what's your favorite room in the city?
Wow. Gee, that like to go see a show or to play.
Both. I want to know both. Yeah.
Well, then I play currently.
And,
I like.
And you can go into the past, like when we had the Town Pump and.
Town Pump was good too.
Yeah, well, I like the Asylum in the Great Canadian Casino, and we're actually playing there. I'm playing there New Year's, but I'm playing there this coming up Saturday as well.
What band?
A band called the Pop Junkies.
Oh yes.
That's a good name.
It's a good band too.
Yeah, so I like that room for a few reasons. It's got a nice stage. Drummerize, I could bring one of my nicer drum kits. It's got a green room in the back. And I live 3 minutes away from it.
Yeah, ride your skateboard.
Yeah. But there is like for downtown Vancouver, like other than like the Vogue and the Commodore and the Orpheum and those places, other than the Roxy, what is there? There really isn't.
Nothing left.
There's not much left there, man. There used to be a few places.
There's been lots at one point.
Yeah, man.
You could stay downtown for a while.
Yeah, there used to be
the Pump. There used to be tons of places.
Yeah.
The Railway Club.
The Media Club.
Yeah. It's all gone. It's all gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're talking about bringing the Town Pump back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's
Wow,
there's-
that would be so.
they've
That's
got-
the history in that place.
That's where it ended, I think. When that turned into disco, that's when it
Yeah,
was
that was kind of like
the final
the
nail.
writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like the town pump. I remember a fellow Drew used to run it, and then Drew was managing the Royal Towers out in New West. Excuse me, and he would book us, and we'd be playing there. He told me such an interesting story about. He said, "Yeah, I was getting this band in from Seattle, and I would pay them $100 and a case of beer, and they would drive up to Seattle and play Wednesdays.
Whoa.
And people really liked them. And then he said to them, "Well, can you guys come back on a weekend?" And they said, "Well, we just, our EP or whatever that we put out is really kind of gaining traction, and so, we can't even do Wednesdays anymore. Sorry." And it was Kurt Cobain.
I
and
was going to say that was Nirvana.
yeah, it was Nirvana, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a lot, like, I mean, who else has played the town pump,
Tons of people.
Soundgarden played the town pump.
That's right. That's right.
I believe
Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains.
Soundgarden played the Cruel Elephant, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. A lot of people, but there's been,
Oasis played Club Soda.
yeah, they did. I mean, some of these shows, I wish, I could turn the clock back, because I would have loved to have gone out. That'd be some serious bragging rights to see.
Oh yeah.
I saw blah 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 blah. I saw Kurt Cobain at the town pump when there was 50
well,
people.
I
on the Wednesday
don't
night.
know. I don't remember my friend Steve Stojkovic. Steve actually, we used to work at Seafox,
Right.
and so he would go to the concerts, the grunge concerts, especially because he'd dress up as the Fox, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
he'd go to the
Oh, is that's who that was?
yeah.
Doug Donut had
Steve
that.
was
Doug
Steve.
Donut had
Oh,
that
I didn't
show
know
for a
that.
while, too.
Yeah, so Steve would dress up as because he worked in promotions, right? So he went and did it, but he went to the one with thing. So the story is that Steve used to try to look like Cobain, right? When he came out, he did all the whole look like Cobain, right? And Cobain saw him out of the Fox stuff and walked up to him and started laughing, not at him, laughing like, are you trying to look like me, right, sort of thing? And Steve says, yeah, something like that, yeah. He says, how's it working for you? He says, working really good, actually. And Kurt goes, I thought so. Steve goes, can I buy you a drink? He says, yeah, so he hung out with him all night.
That's cool.
And
Those are cool
they
stories,
did
man.
bad things.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Knowing them,
Yeah. But those are cool stories, man, to hear.
Yeah, he
from-
told me, he says, I hung out with
yeah.
him. He says, I said,
Yeah.
wow.
That's why I like we were talking earlier about guys like Mark LaFrance and that. Like, that's why I like hanging out with those guys, because
Yeah, they got tons of stories.
stories like that, man, are just great to hear.
And then I got to tell you one more before we go. And then we were talking about what's his name, bass player for Prism, El Harlow. El was playing. He went to see the Jimi Hendrix show.
Yeah.
When Hendrix was at the Coliseum, and he goes there and he goes there and he drops a hit of acid, right? And he says, and so the Coliseum was pretty brand new at that time.
Yeah.
So he was walking around, and I guess because he was stoned and it's brand new, like he says, he got lost, right?
Oh.
And so, how could you get lost? Places sold out. I mean, you could have so many directions, but
Sure.
he did too stoned to ask, right? So he goes down to the second level, and he's down around, looking around. He's going around. He comes to a door, and he knocks on the door, and he opens the door. Jimi Hendrix.
Wow.
And he
Wow.
goes, like, he knows
What
who
a
that
trip.
is. He knows
What
who
a
that is.
trip.
And he goes,
Yeah.
and Hendrix goes,
Yeah.
what do you want? And he just looks like this. What the fuck do you want? And he goes, oh fuck, he goes, slams the door.
Wow.
Next morning,
Yeah.
he's going,
Oh yeah.
nobody's gonna believe this story, he says.
Oh yeah.
Because he
Yeah.
was in Seeds of Time back then.
Sure.
It was a very cool band.
Man.
One of my favorite bands in the
Yeah.
60s in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I just start laughing. He says, nobody in band would believe me. I told the
No,
story.
that's-
Nobody believes that
Yeah,
story.
of course they would.
He says,
Yeah.
I'm so stupid. He says, I wanted to say so many things to this
Oh
guy.
yeah, I know.
Get to
But
know
what are you gonna do? You're in a state of guffaw, right?
Yeah.
You're like, ah.
Why would that? So
Yeah.
I says, do you remember the show? No. I says, you
Yeah.
remember that part, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
But just like before we go, the one last thing, like that's why I like talking to guys like Donnie Underhill and you know, Mark LaFrance and you know, people like that, because I love to hear it, or Al Harlow, because I love to hear the origins of some of these songs that we listened to growing up, how they wrote them and how it came to be. And like Al Harlow was talking to me once about the Prism song, you know, take me away, take me away. He said that he was in Red Deer at like the Windsor or some like just like garbage place, and he was like sitting in his room, and he was like, and he wrote the song "Take Me Away," like so, like literally take me away.
From Red Deer.
Or like even Donnie Underhill. We were talking about this last night about "Here for a Good Time." When they came up with that song, it was more like straight ahead, like, you know, like "Here for a Good." It didn't have that reggae kind of bounce to it. And it was Donnie that said, hey, this needs this kind of reggae bounce to it, you know, it needs that kind of deal. Or one time I remember
that song's on the radio right now.
Yeah, exactly, it's on the radio stuff. But
right
I love hearing those stories about these origins of these songs and stuff.
That's kind of why we do this too. We want to hear all these stories.
Yeah,
too,
or one time I was going over to the island to play a gig, and I pull up right behind this vintage white Mercedes-Benz convertible, and there's this guy checking the tires, checking the tire pressure on this, and I kind of look and I go, oh, I know who that is. That's Terry Jacks.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Oh.
So I walk up to him. I go, you're Terry Jacks. And he looks up and he goes, yeah. You know, like get lost type of thing. And I know his engineer really well, Ken Burke. I work with him a lot at Blue Wave, and I go, I'm good friends with Ken Burke, and he stops and he gets up and he goes, oh, and he shakes my hand and he's like, well, you know, and he's like, you know, it's like starting to tell me all these stories and stuff. So
he was him and Susan Jacks.
Yeah, so
Poppy Town.
we got on the boat, and he started telling me about how Seasons in the Sun came out.
Oh, cool.
And how he borrowed the concept from an old French song, and then I remember I kind of laughed because he said, and then he developed the song and he introduced it to the band, and he said the band hated it. And he goes, I'm glad that I didn't listen to it, because if I did, I wouldn't be driving over in my vintage Mercedes to my second house over in Sunshine Coast. Right? Interesting stuff.
Oh, that is interesting.
That's awesome.
Well, we'd like to thank Kelly for coming out.
Yeah,
that was
dude.
fun tonight.
Yeah, that was
So
a lot
good.
of fun.
Yeah,
Thanks
awesome.
for having me. I really appreciate
nice
it, guys.
to meet you, dude.
Take care.
Yeah, you bet, man.
Hey, I want to show
Peace
you
out,
guys.
everybody.
I want to show you guys a shark.
Oh, yeah. I want to see the shark. This is so cool.
Come on down to the barber shop. We got a shark.
Can I get a drink out of that?
Don't drink formaldehyde. 60s are